Have you ever thought about the fact that a lot of what people consider now new age medicine or new age practices are actually not new? I've always found that fascinating because words have meaning and words mean specific things. And this concept of something being new age when it's ancient, it's almost like a cultural mass redirection. It's almost like there is this agenda to misrepresent facts as a way to veer people away from traditional medicine. I want to have this conversation about some spiritual practices that I use and that lots of people use around the world and that have been used throughout history for healing that have been proven to be effective before modern medicine. Now, this conversation is in no way trying to disparage, the value of Western medicine. It certainly does have value. You guys know that I see a therapist, I see a psychiatrist. I'm not someone that's making a strong case against the need for Western medicine. I'm merely pointing out the fact that before Western medicine, there were other ways to heal that our ancestors knew about, and all of it came from the earth, the same earth that we all are standing on. Before scientific labs were made on this earth, our ancestors knew to grow things, to dig into the ground, to get whatever they needed to make us feel better. So for those of us that are into alternative medicine or what they call new age medicine, which, to me is a little misleading, those of us that are into ancient ways of healing, I think that's a bit more appropriate. It's really important to us that our healing feels connected to our roots and to the earth. Many of you know that I come from long lines of natural healers. I come from grandmothers and great grandmother on my mother's side who were tremendously effective healers. In fact, my great grandmother on my mother's side was so skilled with natural healing that people would travel from all over other parts of the country to come see her in her village for healing. My grandmothers were excellent natural healers. When I was a child, I only remember one instance when I went to the hospital and was put on an IV because natural healing was not effective. So I am the product of the people who gave me their DNA. I am the product of my ancestors. So the way that I approach my healing with lupus is definitely a way that honors my history and honors my lineage and my tradition. So yes, I do partake in Western medicine as a way to treat my lupus, but I supplement it with natural ways of healing. So that's where we get into crystals, meditation, astrology, and spiritual rituals that help to bring in health, abundance, balance, and healing. I know a lot of people like to make fun of what they call rock girls, girls like me, I guess, who are into rocks and crystals. But I need those people to read. Okay. I need them to read and I need them to do some research. Because if they've done that research, then we know that crystals are very ancient. Crystals are a part of so many ancient cultures, and they were used for religious rituals. They were used for magic. They were used for spirituality. Crystals have a long history with us here on Earth. Fourth millennium BC is actually the very first reference that we have of crystals being used by humans, by the ancient Sumerians. Do you know how long ago that was? That was before Christ, fourth millennial. The Sumerians were using crystals at that time as a way to incorporate them into kind of their magic process, as a way to invite in the spirit world to help the manifestations come alive. Crystals are also well documented in ancient Chinese medicine healing. As of 5,000 years back, we can see references of crystals being used in Chinese medicine to help heal various ailments and diseases. So there is value in understanding what's in the earth, which is really what we're talking about. Crystals come from the soil that we're standing on, from the earth that we're standing on. There's value in understanding what is in it because all the things that we need for our lives are in the earth, okay? The houses that we live in come from the wood that the earth has built. The medication that we take comes from compounds and minerals from the earth. Literally everything we've ever needed is in the earth. Our clothes come from the earth. Diamonds and gold come from the earth. Everything we need on earth is in the earth. The food we eat comes from the earth. You see the connection, right? For me personally, as an African woman, when I was little, I know we have so many rituals around compounds from the earth that women use when they're pregnant, and so many herbal medicines that we use when we're sick. I grew up on it. So I know the value in it because I lived it. It's not something I read or hearsay. You could study the Flint and Jane ritual from the early Stone Age. You can study Pharaoh and the type of jewelry, grandiose jewelry that Pharaoh used to wear, adorning crystals. You can study that to learn more about crystals. Crystals are all around us, all over us. It's nothing new. It's nothing new age. If anything, it's old age. How far back does the pharaoh, how far back does the story of the pharaoh date? Do you know? Crystals are mentioned 1,704 times in the Bible. When Moses and his brother Aaron created a breastplate for the high priest, guess what was included on that breastplate? Crystals, kind of like a necklace with crystals, right? If you don't believe me, just go research it. In Mesoamerica, in China, in India, in Egypt, in Greece, in Mesopotamia, crystals have long been used for rituals, religious rituals, as well as for healing and magic. They were also used as part of scientific experiments to learn more about how the human condition responds to different energies. Because remember, each crystal is made of different compounds that have a specific vibration to them, kind of like molecules and atoms. In prehistoric times, there's several references to crystals being traded. For thousands of miles, people would travel to exchange crystals, and they were traded for very expensive amounts. One of my favorite crystals, 9,000 years ago, lapis lazuli, which looks like this, was transported from the Afghan mountains all the way to Egypt. Lots of other crystals were also transported from Egypt onto other regions. I say all of that to say that for thousands of years, crystals have been understood by our ancestors, they've been revered, they've been desired, they've been lusted after, they've been wanted, they've been yearned for, and they've been acquired for the purpose of healing, the purpose of connection to divinity in the strongest sense of the term, and the purpose of really staying mindful of one's spirituality and the energetic vibration that one carries. Our ancestors have fought over crystals. Our ancestors have traded crystals. They've bought crystals for a lot of money because they understood how valuable crystals were. Even today, gemstones are still a huge part of royalty. They're still a huge part of, affluence and power and abundance. When you think about it, a diamond is a gem that comes from the earth, just like all the other crystals. Those things are valuable. And the most powerful and wealthy people on earth have quite a few of those things. So the idea that crystals bring about a certain vibration and energy shouldn't be that foreign, considering, how long it's been around and the value that our society still places on it. What do you think about this? Leave your comments in the box below. Thanks for watching.